This man just built 70 apartments by turning an abandoned factory into homes. Absolutely crazy. Let's check it out.
In this video, I'm going to show you how I transformed this rundown factory into a £12 million property development.
Wow. Anything
I'm
is
Anthony.
possible.
Here's my 70-unit apartment building in Birmingham, which includes a
Courtyard, gym,
Wow.
laundry, study. That building you can see is Bridge Street Studios. Growing up, the church that we actually went to isn't there right now, so the church building's still there, but the church that we were a part of have left.
I hate to see derelict places across the city in disrepair. If I can turn it into a great development opportunity for us, then that works a treat for me.
I'm going to show you how I found the development site, how I planned it, how I built it, and then of course, the financials.
Yep.
I found
this is
the project
amazing.
by attending a viewing with the landlord of the site next door. Whilst I was at that viewing, I looked out the window and I saw this old rundown factory. I then made some inquiries as to who owned it, contacted the owner, and eventually got a deal done. That deal meant I could buy the property for £400,000 once I got planning permission.
400,000, he turned into 12 million, in fact, that he said.
So I got an exclusive
Valuation.
period to allow me to get planning permission before I actually acquired the
Ready
site.
to vote. Can I see those in favour of this application? Thank you, that is approved.
Went through that entire process and eventually we were able to buy the site. I mean, even at that stage, there were issues with the owner who tried to pull out of the deal once we had planning permission, but I'll save that story for another time.
When I went to strike the deal, I didn't immediately put together that was where I went to church.
The tenants that were renting the premises were really unhappy. The building was a disaster when I first got it, and rat infestation, asbestos, pigeons, water damage, leaks everywhere. The previous owners had completely neglected the building. It just wasn't a nice place to be. Something had to drastically change.
The plan. This is an amazing video.
Planning the
truly.
project has been a meticulous process. I worked with a team of architects and other consultants to design the ideal student accommodation building. Not only did it meet the needs of the local area by repurposing a really tired asset, we seem to get a good amount of feedback from residents living there. They're pretty happy there, and we have a good amount of students rebooking.
nice.
We brought in some of the best in the business from the construction industry to help deliver this project. A lot of professionals are required in order to deliver these projects.
I can imagine.
Architect, structural engineer, civil engineer, fire
Interior
safety, building
designers.
control, quantity surveyor, project manager. I mean, the list goes on and on. The big challenge is that development can take a long time and it's a very expensive process to go through.
So on this project, I'm the property developer, it's the person that puts the deal together, but we take the risk, we own the site, we get the financing for the deal and get that secured and then own the site once it's built. And if the contractor goes bust, you can get another contractor in. So there is a distinct difference between developer and contractor. And also operator. Operator is the one that runs the building once it's built, also known as a managing agent.
Took months of planning, months of work,
I can
bunch
imagine,
of
man.
letdowns, but eventually we pulled it off.
Big
We then
project.
got into the demolition of the building, which was a lot more challenging than expected. And
It's not about going for the cheapest, it's about going for the best mix, but also we're not just going to let anybody just come in and start demolishing sites.
we
Yeah.
faced numerous challenges during this project. One of the issues we faced in the early days of the building is that we found asbestos in the building. There's generally two types of asbestos.
Crazy.
There's asbestos that doesn't require a license for you to be able to remove it, and there's a more hazardous asbestos that requires a specialist license. It certainly cost a lot more money. We had to carefully demolish the building as it was basically against two separate boundaries. Once we demolished the building, we had to underpin one of the buildings just to make sure structurally it was safe and sound for the long term. We also had to put in some protection measures to the other neighbouring property by rendering that building. So they were the enabling works we had to carry out. Not straightforward. So oftentimes in development, not just about what you have to do for your own development site and doing your own foundations and building
others
your own
as well.
development. It's what you have to do for neighbouring buildings as well when you're carrying out your development, because there's likely to be an impact on neighbouring buildings if you're close to them. So if you're potentially going to undermine their foundations, then you need to put a solution in, and you have to have the right insurances as well for that. So development isn't just about your own development, it's about the impact it has on the local infrastructure and the neighbourhood and local buildings and business owners and building owners and so forth. We started
It's clearly not all fun and games, and it can be extreme headaches as well. He's describing it, he's making it simple, but this is what, an 8-minute video. and he does have experience from the sounds of it. So you tackling a project like this, I'll just say stick to small projects in the beginning and then build your way up, because this could be easily a major disaster.
Local buildings and business owners and building owners and so forth. We started the project in earnest. At some point during the project, the contractor went bust.
Wow.
Which meant we had an unfinished building sitting there for months, and we eventually lost, fortunately, £1 million on that project. It took 4 years to complete the project from the start to finish. It's been 5 years since I've been on YouTube. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe, comment and like, and I'll make sure I'll come back with the fire. Still on the building to this day, and we've got some really happy residents. Construction costs came to £5 million, and we were able to make a good profit.
Wow.
Financing the project, that wasn't too problematic. We approached a couple of banks to work with that would finance the development. We had to put up some of the money for the development. The rest of it was financed by the bank. We then went to a contractor and a professional team to quote us to deliver the project, and that's how we went along. So it was funded from some of my money, some of the money from my business partner on this, as well as money from the bank, and that's how we funded the development. And that bank actually, fortunately, was supportive when our contractor went bust. They stuck with us and allowed us the opportunity to deliver the project ourselves. So we paid £400,000 for this site originally. Today, this building's worth £12 million. And that's for a number of factors, right? That's due to us being able to generate value through creating these spaces, or 70 apartments that we can then rent at a certain level. That gross rent, we take the annual figure and we deduct operational expenses, which is 20 to 25%. Once that's done, you're left with your net rent, your net NOI, your net operating income. That net operating income is the amount that dictates the value of the building. That investment yield set off against the net operating income determines the value of the building, and that's how we got to that figure. So when we first started, it was a much smaller scheme at 58 flats, and it was worth 6 million then. It's now worth 12 million, which is a combination of rental increases and a much bigger scheme.
Is the scheme going to be finished on time? Are we going to get students in on
It
time?
took 5
have
years.
the place ready?
Wow.
Have some happy tenants.
Stuff
So
is
we'll
not
see, but this
easy.
is all the first step.
So we got the site delivered in the end. We were slightly late for the academic year, so we were meant to deliver it in early to mid-September for students to move in. We ended up delivering it in early part of October, which wasn't ideal for the students, and yes, some were a little unhappy, but nobody was out of pocket. We tried our best to make sure everyone was happy. We offered them an opportunity to cancel their contracts, rent refunds. We offered additional bonus as well, incentive for those that stayed. And here it is, the final product, a beautiful modern building. The development includes luxury student apartments, a study room, a gym, a chill lounge, and outdoor communal space. Now it's a joy. At times it wasn't. There was definitely a time where I'd get a lot of anxiety going back to the building once we'd finished it, because I'd relieve all the feelings and emotions I'd feel. I'm constantly working on new projects. We have a good few £100 million worth of projects in the pipeline that we're working on. So that's exciting. So there's a lot more to come, and we're excited to see what's coming for the future. But comment below, what do you think, right? What should I do next? What kind of project? Do you have any questions about this project? Is there anything that I missed? Anything you want to know any answers to? Do you have any queries? Just comment below and I'll...
Wow. This is,
Project manager, I mean, the list goes on. And the big challenge is that
so the parts that, the most parts that was rewinded
own
was
development,
this,
it's about the impact it has on the local infrastructure and the neighbourhood and local buildings and business owners and building owners and so forth. We started
So the 4 years, how the duration, people were super curious in regards to how long it took. They rewinded that a bunch. This is some of the construction, 5 million, he said.
Construction costs came to £5 million, and
A bunch of rewinds here as well. I'm going to reflect on the comment section and see if that reflects. And then we've got here
with us and
where they almost went bust and stuff like that. Okay, cool. Let's read the comment section. As an architect student, I really appreciate that you managed to keep the beautiful brick facade instead of using some old, ugly, cheap plastic. Yep, I hear it. It's got a bunch of likes as well. Let's see another one with... Okay. I mean, this was a... You know what I appreciate about this video? It took 5 years and he delivered in 8 minutes. Broke down, gave us a bunch of numbers. Didn't give us too much, but he gave us, I guess, what we needed. So shout out to Anthony Laville. I hope I didn't butcher the name. But this was an awesome video. It was great insight to see what goes into such a huge project, because he's making it sound very easy, but as he admitted, there was a bunch of anxiety going on, anxious moments where, am I going to finish this? What did I just start? All of the people that are depending and relying on this, all of the promises, the students, but now it's paying off. So the lesson that I'm taking away from this, that you should as well, is where there's a will, there's a way. If it's possible for one, it's possible for all. If it's possible for Anthony, then I'm sure it's possible for you, and I'm sure he didn't start like that. I'm sure if he was to watch this video, maybe you even comment in the comment section, he did not start like that. I'm certain. Maybe he started by 1 or 2, learning the trade, what's going on, and then before you know it, you know, a couple of years later, he's here. So this video was really to just inspire you as to what's possible. And as I said, if it's possible for one, it's possible for all. Like the video, share it. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.